Do you ever feel like there's a deeper version of yourself waiting to be discovered, but you're not sure where to begin? In this video, we'll unlock the secrets to truly understanding yourself, guided by the timeless wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi. Prepare to embark on a journey of self-reflection, emotional mastery, and personal growth, so you can tap into your true potential and live with greater clarity and purpose. Lesson 1. Self-reflection. The first and most important thing you need to do to really understand yourself is to think on your life. Introspection means looking at your own ideas, actions, feelings, and events to find out more about who you are at your core. The famous fighter and philosopher Miyamoto Musashi often said that getting to know yourself was the key to understanding both the art of battle and life's difficulties. He thought that the first step to real control was to look at oneself without any filters. Musashi wrote in the Book of Five Rings, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye." This message shows how important it is to think about oneself. People often can't see the things that really affect our lives. Our thoughts, fears, wants, and reasons for doing things. We can start to understand these secret parts of ourselves and how they affect our behaviors by thinking about ourselves. Being honest is needed for self-reflection. You have to be ready to face hard things about yourself in order to get the most out of this practice. This can be hard because it means recognizing your flaws, mistakes, and places where you need to improve. But Musashi says that ignoring pain only makes things stay the same. You can only grow when you face your flaws head-on, just like a hero has to face their enemy straight in fight. One way to think about yourself is to ask yourself deep, important questions on a daily basis. What makes you decide what to do? Are you living in line with your values, or are you just giving in to pressures from other people? Are there patterns in the way you act that you need to change? The answers to these questions will help you get to the bottom of why you do the things you do. Musashi thought it was important to look at not only how a fight turned out, but also the plan and attitude that led to success or loss. In the same way, you need to think about the process that leads your daily life. Learning from your mistakes is another important part of self-reflection. Musashi thought that everything that happened, every problem, and every mistake was a chance to get better. It's important to think about both your wins and mistakes as you try to figure out who you are. What did they teach you? What did they do to make you who you are now? When you think about the things that happened in the past, you can see trends in your life and choose how to move forward. When you reflect on yourself, you should not only think about what you could do better, but also about what you do well. Musashi knew that to become a master, one had to work on their flaws and build on their abilities. It's just as important to think about what you do well, what comes easily to you, and where you really shine on your path to self-discovery. So, you should always be thinking about yourself. Musashi thought that people should always be improving and growing, and self-reflection is the way that people can do this. Set aside time every day to be still. Think about what you're doing and assess your progress. You will learn more about your true self through this process, which will help you live a more clear, purposeful, and aligned life. Reflecting on yourself is like looking in a mirror. It lets you see who you are beneath the surface. By doing this practice regularly and honestly, you can find out how to really understand yourself, just like Musashi found the way to success by thinking deeply about himself and being aware of his own limitations. Lesson 2. Identify your values and beliefs. Finding out what you believe and what you value is an important step towards understanding yourself better. Values are the main ideas that help you make choices and act in certain ways. Beliefs, on the other hand, are your strong views that shape how you see the world. It helps you understand who you are and what's important to you when you take the time to figure out these inner drivers. The famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi knew how important ideals and views were. He based his life on a code of honor, discipline, and independence. His wise words can help you find your own values and match them with them, so you can live your life with clarity and purpose. While living, Musashi followed a set of rules called Bushido. These rules stressed virtues like honesty, bravery, loyalty, and self-discipline. He didn't just think about these ideals, they shaped how he lived his life and fought. Musashi knew that if you didn't have a clear set of rules to follow, outside forces could easily make you lose sight of your true mission. To the same extent, your beliefs guide your actions and help you make choices that are in line with who you really are. Think about what you value most in life to start figuring out what your values are. Think about things like, what do I stand for? What kind of person do I want to be? What traits do I like about other people? The solutions you give will help you find the ideals that are important to you. Values like honesty, kindness, creativity, freedom, or growth could be on this list. You can start to see how your core values affect your actions and decisions once you know what they are. You can also see where you might be able to connect or grow with them. Beliefs, on the other hand, are the ways you think about and understand the world. Some ideas can help you reach your goals, while others may hold you back. Musashi thought that people should change and adapt, and he was always asking what other people thought in order to find his own way. He questioned the standard schools of swordsmanship and came up with his own theory, which was a big part of his success. In the same way, it's important for growth to think about your values. What do you think about yourself? What do you think about being successful, having good relationships, and being happy? Many of these ideas may have come from your childhood or from the way things are done in society. They may not help you anymore. Take some time to think about whether the things you believe match up with the person you want to become. If they don't, be brave and push them, like Musashi did. For example, if you think that failing shows how valuable you are, you might want to think about how that idea is holding you back. Musashi said that failing is a part of becoming a master. If you change the way you think about failing, you can grow. Harmony inside comes from having your values and ideas in line with each other. You feel more true to yourself and at peace with yourself when you act in ways that are in line with your values. When your views help you grow instead of getting in the way, you become stronger and more flexible. Musashi thought that knowing and respecting oneself made a person truly strong. You can start to live in line with your best self by writing down your values and beliefs. This will help you make choices based on purpose instead of fear or outside pressure. It is up to you to decide which road to take. As Musashi said, you must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. When you understand and agree with them, you can live a life that is true to who you are and based on values that make you happy and at peace. Lesson 3. Explore your personality. One important step in getting to know yourself is to look into your personality. It's about figuring out the character traits, habits, and tastes that make you think, feel, and act each way. Miyamoto Musashi's theory stresses how important it is to know yourself deeply, which includes having a full understanding of your nature. You can become more self-aware by exploring the different sides of your personality. This can help you make better decisions, build deeper relationships, and feel more connected to your purpose in life. Even though he was a fierce fighter, Musashi could also think things through and plan ahead. He thought that to be truly skilled in any subject, you had to know both your opponent and yourself. Being aware of your own skills and flaws was a big part of Musashi's success in battle, and it's also a big part of getting to know yourself. Musashi's lessons tell us that we need to understand ourselves before we can get along with others. Finding your skills is one way to start learning more about yourself. These are the traits that you naturally have, whether it's leadership, kindness, imagination, or problem solving. Musashi knew very well what made him good at swordsmanship and strategy, and he used those skills to win every battle. If you know what your skills are, you can use them to face problems in life with more confidence and quickly. For instance, if you are naturally cerebral, you might be great at planning and organizing. On the other hand, someone with great people skills might do really well in groups. Musashi also said that it was important to know your weaknesses and work on them. He spent his whole life getting better at what he did, never thinking that mastery was the end goal. He thought that people should always be growing, and this way of thinking can help you figure out who you are. It's important to figure out what you might be having trouble with, whether it's speaking, controlling your emotions, or flexibility. You can work on changing these flaws by being aware of them, just like Musashi would over time improve his sword skills. Understanding your tastes and habits is another important part of getting to know yourself. Which are you more, shy or outgoing? Do you like order and routine, or do you do better in settings that are free-flowing and adaptable? How you connect with the world around you is affected by these tastes. Many people knew Musashi for his flexibility in dealing with different situations. He thought that being able to do this was a sign of true skill. You can find places and situations where you can do well by knowing your personality preferences. This knowledge also gives you the courage to leave your comfort zone and grow. It's important to remember that getting to know yourself doesn't mean giving yourself a name or putting yourself in a box. Instead, it's about understanding your natural traits and using that information to grow as a person. The lessons that Musashi taught us tell us to accept all of our flaws and abilities while trying to find balance. He thought that people should develop well-rounded personalities that could handle life's problems with both power and kindness. You might also find it helpful to use tools like personality tests, writing in a notebook, or asking other people for comments as you learn more about yourself. These techniques can help you learn more about how you see yourself and how other people see you. Musashi would, however, tell us that the only way to really understand something is to go through it and think about it. When you face problems in life, pay attention to how you handle them and how your attitude affects how you handle them. Soon, being aware of this will help you learn more about who you really are. So, getting to know your personality is a key part of knowing yourself. Getting to know yourself better means figuring out your skills and flaws and accepting the things that make you special. Musashi's theory says that control starts with knowing yourself. As you explore the depths of your nature, you find more growth, happiness, and success in all areas of your life. Lesson 4. Examine your emotions. Emotions are strong signs of what's going on inside us. They shape how we respond, what we experience, and often what we decide to do. But knowing how you feel is a very important part of really knowing yourself. Miyamoto Musashi, who was known for being calm and obedient, taught people how to control their feelings instead of letting them run their lives. Musashi believed that feelings should not be pushed down, but rather understood and used to help people think more clearly and make better decisions. Before you can look at your feelings, you have to admit that you have them. It's simple to forget about how you feel when you're busy with everyday things, especially when feelings like anger, sadness, or fear come up. But burying your feelings deeper only makes them worse, leaving problems unsolved that can come up again later. Musashi said that a warrior's best weapon is a clear mind, and the only way to get clear is to face your feelings head-on. First, figure out what makes you feel bad. Are there certain people or events that stress you out, anger you, or overload you? The first step in learning how to control your feelings is figuring out what makes them happen. Musashi thought that problems should be dealt with directly, both on the battlefield and in everyday life. You can understand where your feelings come from and how they affect your actions if you face them instead of running away from them. Next, think about what makes you feel that way. Feelings are often connected to inner fears, beliefs, or wants that aren't being met. Sadness can come from a sense of loss, while anger can come from feeling slighted. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? This self-examination fits with Musashi's ideas about reflection, which means getting to know yourself well so that you can act wisely and with purpose. Musashi also talked about how important it is to keep your emotions in check. It's important to be aware of and think about your feelings, but having them control what you do can be harmful. Musashi wrote about how dangerous it is to let fear or anger get in the way of your brain. He thought that staying calm and collected in tough situations was the key to real success, whether in battle or in life. To use Musashi's advice in your own life, be aware of your feelings when they come up. Instead of moving without thinking, stop and notice how you feel. Take a few deep breaths and let the feeling come up without judging it. This puts some distance between how you feel and what you do, which gives you the focus you need to answer carefully. This way of looking at your feelings makes you more emotionally strong over time. Musashi went through a lot in his life, and the key to his success was being able to keep calm when things got tough. In the same way, learning to understand and control your feelings gives you the strength to deal with life's obstacles more easily and clearly. By looking at your feelings, you are not trying to avoid or hide them, but rather accepting them as a normal part of being human. Musashi taught that being self-aware and controlling your emotions can help you learn more about yourself and live a more balanced and wise life. Lesson 5. Journaling. Remember that writing in a journal is a strong way to learn more about yourself. It gives people a place to think, talk, and let out their feelings. Musashi wrote, which was a collection of his ideas and philosophical writings. He knew that writing down his thoughts could help him think more clearly and learn more about himself. Writing in a book gives you an organized way to look at your ideas, feelings, and experiences. Writing slows you down and lets you think about your own thoughts. You might find patterns in the way you think or feel that you weren't fully aware of as you write. Writing in a book is helpful because it helps you see the big picture and learn more about who you really are. Musashi believed in keeping things simple and clear. Writing in a book can help you do the same. It can be hard to make sense of your thoughts when they are all over the place. It helps you organize your thoughts and see them in a new way when you write them down. By thinking about and writing down your thoughts, you get closer to knowing how your mind works. One more way to show yourself is through writing in a journal. Musashi knew how to use both a sword and a brush well, and he thought that being creative was an important part of life. You can be more creative and discover new parts of yourself when you write down your feelings and thoughts without any restrictions. Writing in a journal is a safe way to explore and understand your feelings, whether you're writing about your day, your thoughts, or your problems. Writing in a book also lets you see how you've changed over time. When you keep a book, you can see how far you've come on your path to self-discovery. Musashi might see this as a way to keep track of your progress, like how warriors keep track of their skill gains. By reading through old notes, you can see how you've changed, how your beliefs have changed, and how you've dealt with different situations. Making writing in a diary a part of your daily life can be very helpful. Musashi once said, "Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road." This is also true for journaling. If you do it regularly, you will slowly but surely find out how to truly understand yourself. Lesson 6. Seek feedback. Getting feedback from other people is an important part of getting to know yourself. While it's good to think about yourself and reflect, seeing things from other people's points of view can help you see things more clearly. Musashi knew how important it was to learn from others, even though he was an independent and individualist fighter. He often learned from different teachers and opponents, which helped him keep improving his skills and understanding of himself. When you ask for feedback, you want other people to tell you what they think about your actions, your skills, and where you could do better. This can be very helpful for finding your blind spots or parts of yourself that you might not fully understand. Other people can sometimes see patterns in the way you act that you yourself might not notice because you are too close to the situation. Musashi thought that getting comments from anyone, even an enemy, was a good way to get better. He would look at how his enemies did things and use that information to make his own plan better. Also, when you ask for feedback, don't see it as criticism, but as a chance to improve. You can see what changes you need to make to your actions or thinking to become more like your true self by getting constructive feedback. It's helpful to get comments from people who genuinely care about you. Friends, teachers, or coworkers you trust can give you honest and useful advice. But it's also important to sort through comments and not believe everything that people say. Musashi taught that it's important to be smart. Just like he would carefully pick which methods to use against his opponents, you need to pick the comments that will help you grow. When people give you input, keep in mind that it's not about changing who you are to make them happy. You should instead use the comments to learn more about yourself and become more self-aware. Musashi believed that everyone should always be trying to get better, and feedback is a key part of that process. Getting feedback as you learn more about yourself can help you grow in ways you might not be able to do on your own. For some, facing uncomfortable facts is hard, but it gets you closer to discovering the deeper parts of who you are. Musashi's way of looking at things from other people's points of view can help you see feedback as a useful way to learn more about yourself. To really understand yourself, you have to keep thinking about your values, feelings, and attitude, and be willing to accept feedback. This is a journey that lasts a lifetime. The lessons of Miyamoto Musashi will always be useful for this journey. His focus on self-discipline, self-awareness, and steady improvement can help you learn more about yourself. Self-reflection, writing down your values, getting to know your personality, getting to know your feelings, and asking for feedback are the 6 lessons that will help you understand yourself better. Musashi said, "In the life of a warrior, even the simplest tasks must be mastered to perfection." When you look at it this way, getting to know yourself is not just a goal. It's a practice that you follow every day. Ultimately, getting to know yourself isn't about getting to a certain point. It's about growing and becoming more self-aware all the time. You can learn more about your true self and live a more real, satisfying life by following these lessons and the advice of Musashi.